I want to be remembered as one of the all-time greats. I gotta go through Canelo to do it.
And for him to be successful, he has to land shots on Crawford.
They teach me. I try it sparring the next day. So
my money's on Terence Crawford to maybe cause an upset. I don't even know who's the favorite here.
The outcome of this fight is going to linger for a long time.
Son, all of a sudden they're going to say, Canelo should have fought him 5 years earlier.
I think this fight is going to be one of the best fights in the boxing.
You say that because you're fighting with nobody.
So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? I don't care about anybody else. Nobody.
Mega fight. It's a clash of two titans, two guys who have reached the pinnacle of their sport multiple times. Undisputed champions, both of them, going for more supremacy. Now, it's an interesting one. It's going to be a difficult one to pick and choose. My choices from my mindset as a fighter and a fan of the sweet science, might change because again, styles make fights. We have to wait till, they're both in the ring, these two titans. But how I see the fight going is Canelo is the pressure fighter. He's got to put the pressure on Crawford. He has to be able to land his big shots. He's seasoned at fighting at super middleweight. He's fought as high as light heavyweight, as we know. So he is accustomed to the bigger punches, the bigger shots. I don't think Crawford can really land anything that's going to trouble a guy like Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is such a good pressure fighter, and for him to be successful in this fight, he needs to be able to really cut the ring off very, very well with a guy like Terence Crawford. And for him to be successful, he has to land shots on Crawford, put him in two frames of minds, make Crawford double think every time Canelo goes into and wants to land shots and land shots.
We are a week out. I haven't changed my opinion on it. I've gone from 50-50 to Canelo's going to be too big to Crawford's going to win, and I'm sticking with Crawford winning. When you just can't picture someone losing. That's what it is. It's not I picture him winning. I can't picture him losing. That's what it is. He seems like a man possessed at the moment, where I've actually already seen Canelo lose. He lost to Bivol, lost to Floyd, and for me, he lost to Golovkin. So I've seen him lose. I haven't seen Crawford lose. I don't know, man. It's such I'm sticking with Crawford. I'm going to do a video with G-Man on Sunday, and we're going to try and go back and forth for about an hour, looking at everything, looking at their last fights. We're going to go in details right now. If I had money, my money's on Terence Crawford to maybe cause an upset. I don't even know who's the favorite here. And in doing so, put himself in discussion to jump Usyk as pound for pound #1. It will be close. It will be a great fight.
Who knows? Shout out to both of those guys for making that fight happen as well and challenging them. I've always went with Crawford this fight. It's nothing against Canelo, because Canelo's a hell of a fighter. I don't know how he is as a person. Neither the guy. I don't know how neither of them are as a person. But I like Crawford for challenging himself. Like, that's the type of things I do and I've done. So I like anybody that's willing to challenge themselves, whether it's money or not. You still have the heart to go in there and challenge the bigger guy. So, but I think it's gonna be. I think if Crawford uses his boxing ability, then it'd be a better fight for him. Canelo punch you on your arms everywhere. He be chopping down, punch you on your arms and all. So that's the only, and that wear you down. So yeah, I'm not sure.
That's a big what if, huh?
Yeah. So that's what makes the fight so interesting. That right there, those questions that we all have, is what makes the fight interesting and makes you want to watch.
You just watched history unfold, and it hasn't even hit the ring yet. The uncut face-off between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford just dropped. And from the first second, you felt the tension shift. Canelo didn't blink, not once. He stood there like a statue, as if daring you to look away. But Crawford, he stared right through him, like he already saw the outcome, already imagined the belt, already claimed the win. You've followed stare downs before, but this was different. This wasn't two fighters selling a fight. This was two legacies colliding. You know what's at stake. You've heard Canelo call this the biggest night in boxing history, and you feel the weight of that statement. You saw the message he sent after landing in Vegas, checked in See you on September 13th. Cold, calculated. He's not just showing up. He's showing up to erase zeros.
All these, they were great, but this one's getting so much attention, and Pacquiao and Mayweather got that kind of attention. I hope that's the only similarity to it. I hope it doesn't become disappointing the way that fight did, where people said that at the end of the day, and rightfully so, it was very disappointing, and it was at least 5 years too late. I hope, and see, nobody else has touched on this. And again, you brought me here. You're probably going to get me killed because you brought me here, but you brought me here. There will be people that want to hear this. But I hope that it's not, at the end of the day, what we're talking about, saying, yeah, this fight happened a few years too late. I think that's potential of that being there. And nobody's talked about that, because in their mind, they're both in their prime. Until they're not in their prime. Until all of a sudden Canelo shows up and his legs are slow, and he's not closing the gap so fast. And Crawford is taking advantage of that, or whatever it is, whatever side of it it's on. All of a sudden they're going to say, Canelo should have fought him 5 years earlier or 3 years earlier. He would have beat him. You know, so I hope we're not getting that, but it's a fight that I want to see. But I see the possibility of that cloud.
Ripped, and he definitely looks thicker. He looks quite a bit thicker.
Technical, he's better than Canelo. I just don't see him being Canelo.
I don't know if he's better technically. Canelo's pretty good technically.
Pound for pound, number one in the world.
He's
not even close.
So good,
not even
dude.
close. Yeah.
Crawford's so good.
What he did to Errol Spence is unbelievable.
But then also remember, Crawford hasn't fought in 2 years.
Is it that long?
Yep.
He's greatness, though.
Madrimov was 2 years ago? Well, the thing about Errol Spence, though, you got to remember, Errol Spence crashed his Ferrari and flipped it and flew out and landed on his head. Like, he got fucked up in that car accident.
I know, but I don't think it had anything to do with it. I think Crawford's just got a higher fighter.
Nah, it had to do something with it. A guy that gets that fucked up.
Crawford's so good. Like, he does that to everybody.
Crawford's so good, no doubt.
He was ejected from his...
Questions I've ever seen in boxing. This is a real problem for Crawford, because he might be the better boxer, but can you actually hurt this guy? It's going to be hard, especially when you're moving up in weight. But if there is anyone who can do it, it's Terence Bud Crawford, a man who survived getting shot in the head.
Though Terence Crawford can box, I look at Terence Crawford as a puncher boxer. I look at Canelo Alvarez as a puncher boxer, not the other way around. If they move, it's either to rest or get in position to do what they really want to do. Start a fight and land a punch that's going to change the course of the night. So I can't just say that Terence is going to outbox him. We know what he's going to do. I don't know. You got to do. Both of these fighters are extremely stubborn, and you cannot be great for any extended period of time and not have that stubbornness about you. Even though Canelo Alvarez has some blemishes on his record, there's a perfectly good reason for each one, the draws and the losses. So he's been outclassed by Mayweather, but he's never been beat up.
He does. I think it's just too much size, and obviously, I mean, Canelo's not a new fighter. He has a lot of experience too, so I think it's just gonna be too much weight for Crawford. Even though Crawford's a great fighter, I think he might give him a run for his money the first maybe 6.
But you also saw Crawford flip the script. You remember Canelo calling him a nobody? Now you hear Crawford's response ringing, "So when I beat you, are you a nobody too?" That line stuck. It hits different because you know it's not just trash talk, it's calculated fire. You're hearing fighters and experts split down the middle. Some tell you size will be too much. Others remind you that skill bends physics when the timing is right. You've seen Crawford handle pressure. You've seen him dismantle greatness, but you've never seen him face someone like Canelo.
It's interesting because I think that the only dynamic that makes this fight competitive, in my opinion, is the difference in weight class. I think Canelo has been, for a while, a diminishing fighter. Call it age, call it whatever other things you want to call it. But I just think that, you know, the only reason he's even still around at this level is because he's avoided his top contenders in his weight class, so he's been able to still remain champion at that weight class. And now, being champion at that weight class, it has sort of brought up this big opportunity to fight a smaller, excellent world champion in Terence Crawford. So I think when it comes to the levels of boxing, just straight from boxing perspective, I think Crawford is head and shoulders above Canelo. But they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table. I think Crawford can win the fight. I just wonder whether he can get a decision. That's always the question with Canelo, right? Can Canelo get a decision? I mean, can Crawford get a decision over Canelo? Can anybody get a decision over Canelo? We know Bivol did, but Bivol essentially won a 10-2, 11-1 fight, and they barely gave it to him.
Yeah. If Canelo wins, it just adds on to his resume of champions he didn't face, and it quiet a lot of critics and things that people have been saying about him. But if Crawford wins, the sky's the limit for him. Yeah, he probably even retire. Who knows? But if Crawford wins, then it makes his resume 10 times better.
And the pick ain't gonna change. I'm telling you that now. Unless Canelo goes out there and say at a public workout and he's walking with a limp, then my pick ain't changing. Crawford is not gonna do that. He's a very proud man. He doesn't know what it's like to be defeated. He fully believes in himself, and the shape he looks in phenomenal shape. He's coming into this fight fully believing that he can win this, and that right there is the mindset you need to have. It won't guarantee you victory, but it will give you a better chance than if you went in there thinking, right, just survive and see what happens. I do think that the size difference will be something, although because the legs were never that great to begin with. Canelo's legs were never his greatest attribute. He always had slow feet. He was never he was good at cutting the ring off. If you go and watch the fight he had with Billy Joe, he cut the ring off very effectively in that fight. But again, better legs back then. And against someone like a Terence Crawford, who is he'll probably be amazed at how slow Canelo's feet are, because he's used to fighting guys with good feet. Majimov had them. Spence didn't really, but he's fought guys like Porter who have good legs. Kell Brook was a great jab. He's fought guys like that, and he's been able to get around what they have. So that being said, surely with Alvarez, he'll be able to get around it. With Crawford, again, he's come up from 135 pounds. And he's filled out a lot since then, of course, right? But he's never fought anyone who hits as hard as Canelo. He's never fought anyone who is as physically strong as Canelo. Probably not fought anyone who's as tough as Canelo. And although Canelo, when it comes to movers, he does tend to struggle a little bit, as we saw last time out. Or not even that he tends to struggle, but that he just happy to plod and follow you around the ring. Crawford has never been a mover. He can move, and he does move very, very well, but he's never been an excessive mover. He's an aggressive fighter. He's a boxer puncher. He likes to close the show. He likes to hurt you. He likes to open up. He likes to land heavy shots.
Never seen him deal with this kind of power, this kind of body attack, this kind of chin. You're asking yourself the same questions everyone else is. Can Crawford hurt Canelo? Can Canelo keep up with Crawford's angles and IQ? Will legacy overpower size, or will raw strength crush history in the making? You don't know the answer. Nobody does. And that's why you can't look away. This isn't just a fight. It's the night boxing changes forever.